Happy Friday, y'all. Welcome to our Team Inside Out Zoom. Um, what we're going to do today, I'm just going to talk about a couple of things, and then I want Chantal to share. She's going to share a couple of tips. She had a really great month last month with just helping a lot of people get started on a fitness program in Shakeology, and she's just going to share kind of what she did and maybe some things that she learned along the way. And I think it's important for us to all share what works for us, and that way we can all learn from each other. And I know that I've said a million times to, make your business your own, and to, own what you have and put yourself into your business, I think is really important. And so I think that Chantal obviously did a great job. She got, I tell you a million times, it's not always about the Success Club points, but if we are looking to grow our business and if we want to earn income, Success Club is a part of that. And so she reached Success Club 12 last month. And I like to call those helping people points, because that's really what we're doing. But when we help people, we help ourselves too, so it's kind of all comes back around. But I want to share just two things really quick, and they are kind of just phrases that you can take from it what you want to and apply it to not only your business but your life. And these are two things I've heard from other coaches. But the first thing is, I think it's really important to meet people where they are. And what I mean by that, and this could either be challengers that you have, or even if you've brought on coaches on your team, even coaches that you have on your team, it's really important to find out where that person is at in their life. Okay. For example, this is just kind of a quick example. Let's say you're talking to a new mom, and she just had a baby and she's at the point where she's ready to work out. But obviously, having a baby is a huge change in your life, no matter if it's your first or your fifth. I mean, your life all over changes. So, that the thing that I'm trying to say is, that person may not be ready at that time, but they are interested in a challenge group. But let's face it, even if their body is ready to work out, maybe they're just mentally not there yet. And so it's important to meet people where they are. So, is there some other way that you could help that person? Same thing for coaches that you brought onto your team. Kind of, talk to them and see where they're at, and just meet them where they are, so help them in the way that they need help. So what I'm saying is, sometimes we get so excited because we have so many ways to help people, to help our challengers and customers, and to help our coaches. But just understand that person may not be like where you want them to be, So there's so many people that are in challenge groups that I'm like, oh my gosh, if they would just do it, but I have to just meet them. I have to remember, okay, I've just got to meet them where they are. Maybe they're just not there yet, but as long as you keep in touch with them and encouraging them, they come back around. Okay. The second thing is, I think a lot of us worry, and I've said this before, but a lot of us worry about saying the right thing. Hey, Susanna. About saying the right thing, either when you're posting or when you're messaging people. And I think it's very important to, have a script and follow a script if that works for you, to kind of help you get the idea of creating conversations with people. And Sharon posted it's for recruiting, for bringing on coaches, but she posted a great document that has some scripts in there. Okay. But at the end of the day, just keep in mind that you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. Okay, so if there's somebody that you're talking to about a challenge group, and you're like hemming and hawing over the wording, trying to message them. I do that sometimes. I'm like, because I have kind of a template that I always follow, but then I'll kind of change the wording up a little bit to fit that person, depending on what they need. And so, but a lot of times I'm like, oh, is that going to come off the wrong way? Or did I say that right? And so I think it's important to just remember that you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. Okay. Truly, either whether you're talking to them about coaching or the challenge groups. Okay. But if you need a script, I think it's great to follow a script. If you need a place to start, we have plenty of scripts. Like I said, Sharon posted that document in Team Inspire. You might have to scroll down a ways to find it, but that's a great way to just learn how to kind of put it out there to people. But just remember at the end of the day that it's just really about creating that relationship and those conversations with people, and just taking your time too with it. So I'm going to let Chantal take it away because she's got some tips for her successful month that she had, just helping a lot of people. So go ahead.
Thanks, Holly.
You're welcome.
I think the very biggest thing that's helped me, especially I think over the last month and 2 months, because it was 8 weeks, it was to keep track of who I'm talking to. And there's all kinds of different ways that you can do that. I think there's forms in the back office for that. But I actually have I have like a little, of course I don't have it with me. Why not? It's like a little planner. And every day I write who I talk to. And I did a thing from going from emerald to diamond. And every day, if you've seen, Sharon has started that with the Team Inspire. Every day you put down 3 to 5 people that you talk to. And you really realize that, like some days you don't have the time to talk to people, or you realize that you were so busy with your day doing whatever it is that you didn't even have time to talk to people. And so if you, it really is about, people tell you that all the time, to invite and talk to people, but it really is. And if you see it written down, for me, that's a total motivator. If I see that yesterday I didn't get any, then I'm going to double up or make sure that I do that the next day. And I think that that's really helped me to keep track of writing those people down, because then the week after, if I hadn't heard from those people, I'll go back and check them off and see, hey, we talked last week, how are you doing? Or you need more information? And 3 people I got to buy a challenge pack doing that. So that's, that's 6 points, that's 6 Success Club points. And so that for me really helped keeping track. Also following up with the people that you've contacted before. If it was last month, do a monthly thing with them. If you've introduced it, and like Holly was saying earlier, people might not be ready at the time that you're talking to them. And you maybe a month is too long, but for me it worked. The next month they were ready and they just hopped on, and I got another person to buy a challenge pack like that. So, and for me, again, I'm a super visual person. So if it's written down and I see it, that's the way it is. On my calendar's like that. I tell my family all the time, if you don't put it on the calendar, it ain't happening. It's just not going on. And, I tell my husband the same thing. If you want to do something with the family or you have plans of your own, it's not that I want to monopolize your time, but if you want us to do something together, or you have plans that you want us to help you with, you got to get on my calendar, because it's not going to happen otherwise. So, like I said, I'm super, super visual. The other thing is personal development. That is a guaranteed every day, not miss every single day. And if you can only get 5 minutes of a recording in, something to help pump you up. And it doesn't have to be anything super major. I posted something the other day. My sister gave me a book 3 years ago, and it's called The Book of Awesome. And it's just about little things that put a smile on your face. And it's amazing sometimes those days when you feel like either okay, this isn't working today, or I don't feel like working out today. And if you just have a positive thought in your head, it doesn't take a lot, something little, and it will just switch. It will switch the way that you think, and it will just help you. And maybe that'll be a motivator to go and read something else that you maybe know that you should be reading, or that you should do a little bit of extra, you know? And I think those are the biggest things. With time though, I think in this I started, Holly introduced me to the business last summer. Mm-hmm. And it took me a long time I guess at least a few months just to feel, I felt like I was hiding in the beginning. And now the more and more I've used the programs, the more I know that these programs work. It just takes a little bit of time. And you hear everybody say that all over the time, over and over again, all the time, but it's really, really true. It just takes for you to experience that, to know and get to know what the product does for you. And if it works for you, and when it works for you, and the way that it works for you, that's what you share. And it just comes from you, but it just takes a little bit of time to build that up. And, you know, some people are really lucky because they have people, maybe more people around them. It took me a while to get a group going to have success with the things they were going through, because I found that it took me a little bit of time. But when you can share other people's successes, that just increases your credibility, and it boosts your confidence about talking about these things with everybody else. You know, for me, I started with the PIO program, and it helped me heal from an injury. And I'm so pumped on it that in February I got certified to teach it. And now, like, I feel like at the age that I am, that as you mature, this is one of the best things you can do for the rest of your life, to be able to incorporate cardio and restorative and flexibility training and strengthening. And I can't say enough about it. And I tell people, everybody I see, and it just comes out, and it's like, it might be annoying at times, but I'm a converted true believer. And, you know, my Shakeology every day helps me in my life with time management, and it helps me feel better. It helps me with energy. It helps cut my cravings, because I have an awful sweet tooth. And I talk about that. I talk about it.
That's awesome.
I guess that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just wrote down 4 key points that you said. And, you know, it's so interesting because seriously, 3 of those are seriously the 3 vital behaviors. Like you just said it. You just said follow up with people, which is inviting, personal development, which is one of the 3 vital behaviors, and then, you know, using the products and like building your belief in them and just showing people that they work is. So I think that's so cool. That's so awesome. So, I mean, it all comes back around. I know we say that like a million times, that this business is simple. And I think sometimes we try to like overcomplicate it, or I've got to do all this other stuff. And you really don't. Like, as long as you just do those things, you know, it will all come back around. And the reason that I wanted her to share is when I talked to Chantal the other day, I said, I want you to share how you helped so many people last month. I want you to share how you had a successful month. And the first thing she said is, she goes, well, you know, Holly, I don't really know what I did. I just, you know, because I think it was so natural to you, you know, because you truly, these products have worked for you. You've been working on yourself through personal development, and you've just been simply talking to people about it. So I think, but one thing that you also said is, you said, you know, that a lot of those conversations were people that came back around. Okay. And like I struggled last month, and I talked to a lot of people. I did everything that, you know, I did the 3 vital behaviors, and you know, sometimes we don't get we don't hit Success Club 5 or Success Club 10, whatever our goal is. But But just know that those conversations will always come back around, because like I said in the beginning, you have to meet people where they are, and they just may not be ready yet. And so is there some other way you can help them, by saying, hey, stay tuned to my page. I post, recipes on there every now and then, or fitness motivation, or is there some other area that maybe you could help them? Do you know something that they want to know, and it doesn't have to do with health and fitness. It could be something else that you know about. Like, do you know about decorating? Do you know about parenting? Do you know about, like, Susanna's really good in gardening in the yard and stuff like that? Or there are things like that you can share that might just help people. And if you can just keep putting that stuff out there, then those people are watching, and they're not going to forget, and they will come back around, when they're ready. But it's just about always keeping that conversation going with people. So thank you so much for sharing. That was great.
You're welcome.
So I want to give Susanna a high five for I think your blog post yesterday was great. And if y'all haven't read her blog post about the all or nothing or moderation, I think that it's important to share our struggles and things that maybe people don't really, I think that it's okay to put stuff like that out there that you're struggling with, when you're saying, this is where I'm at, this is what I've learned, because it helps people see that, like, we're real, that we're real people, and we struggle too, of course. It's important to be positive, but I think that a lot of times social media makes our lives look like, it's all rainbows and sky, blue skies. And so it's important to put, like, that kind of stuff out there, just to show people that, because it's relatable to people, I mean, all four of us on here are consistent with working out, and for some people that's mind baffling. They're like, I mean, they would never do that. They wouldn't get up and, like, Kate, go for a run for what you run 10 miles, right? Some people wouldn't just do that, so it's important to just show people, number one, that it's possible, but number two, that there are things about us that maybe people don't know that we struggle with, so Susanna, do you have anything you want to add about, like, your experience of sharing your kind of what you shared? I'd like for you to just, like, what got you thinking about wanting to share?
When to share that thing in particular?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because I do struggle with it. So, like, the 21-day fix is great, but it's really hard for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, something about telling me, well, you can have one, but you can have one. I'm like, whatever. That irritates me. So I just don't want to eat it. And I've tried to, like, fit my diet into the container system and into portion control. And that's not to say, okay, so let me finish and then I'll balance that. So, I mean, that was hard. Like, it upset me. It was like depressing, And I thought, something's wrong with me, because this is an awesome system. This works for people. Why is it so discouraging for me to use? And I I would try it and it wouldn't work, and I'd put it aside and I'd try it again, and I didn't like it, and I thought, I thought, well, I just have a problem, you know? So I battled with that a long time, and I came across the blog post that I posted, that I had the link in there.
Yeah, that was good.
That is someone that I follow on Instagram, and they're two moms, and they do yoga. That's their thing. Mm-hmm. And they each have their own approach to nutrition and to raising their family, but their common denominator is yoga, and I guess that's what attracted me to them. Yeah. So I got on their blog one day, and I read that, and I seriously felt so relieved. I mean, it was huge, because I thought, there's not something wrong with me. You know, it's okay. So being able to let that go is like a huge weight. I mean, I read it and cried reading the blog, because it really bothered me, because I felt like, how am I going to, you know, tell people this way, and there's something wrong with me because I can't seem to eat this way and be happy. Okay, I can eat that way, but I'm pretty miserable. Mm-hmm. So just knowing that, like, giving myself permission to work with my tendencies and to train myself to eat well for myself with my own natural tendencies was huge. It was like, I can do that, you know, because I can go long times without certain things. I can go, that's fine. But having just one every day, it's like annoying. It just, oh my, I want to punch somebody because I can't move, you know. So just being able to work with that was so freeing, and I wanted other people to know, because I thought, if I feeling this way, then I know there's other people that feel this way too. Because some people are super, just like awesome at moderation, and you know, and I think that I admire it, but I'm just not quite there. So if I can work with my own natural tendencies and let people know, hey, it's okay for you to work with there's a way for you to work with your own natural tendencies to be healthy with it.
Yes.
There's just not one way.
That's right.
So that's why I wrote that and shared it. And I want people to know that doesn't mean you go just eat whatever, whenever, all the time. It's learning how to use your natural tendencies to help you eat healthy. So if that means that you really like pizza or cookies or cake, whatever it is, mm-hmm. then how I work it is I plan for it. And I know I'm going to have that. And like tonight, we're going to have pizza. So I don't eat a whole lot of other carbs today. You know, it may not be the exact right way to do it, but that works for me and it makes me happy. So that's how I do it. And I guess I want people to know that you can find a healthy lifestyle and work with your own natural tendencies.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it.
Out there.
I haven't read it, Suzanne. I can't wait to read it. I have somebody very dear to my heart who I'm really trying to help, and I like, it's life-threatening. And so the difficulty seems very similar to yours. So I'm looking very forward to reading your blog, Susanna.
Oh, thanks, Chantal.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it helps. Because I think there's a definite way to work with it, you know.
Absolutely.
I know there's a lot of people in my family who abuse that tendency. So I know I think I can know where you're coming from. You know, it's just learning how to rein it in.
Yeah.
So that's why I shared what I did. That's what kind of motivated me to share what I shared. And, you know, that I have lots of things that if I can just get them out and get them published, actually put them on for people to read. So,
Yeah.
Well, I wish you strength for that, because that's like so important. It takes lots of courage to press that button and get that out. But it's so, so, so important.
thank
I'm
you.
right there with you. Just, you know, we all have our own things, and I think it's really good to release those things.
Thank you. I kind of feel better. I feel better about it. I feel good about it, but sometimes I feel like, oh man, that I feel kind of naked.
Yeah.
At the same time, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I found like those, like when the posts that I've shared just about my lifelong struggles, I feel like I'm standing out there with my clothes off. But I guess what really helps me to do that is I know that there is someone else out there that has the same exact struggle, you know? And I'm not saying that what I do is going to be right for them, but at least we don't feel crazy. And I guess like for me, I tried to hide that part of me for so long because I'm in fitness, you know? And I thought, well, no one, like, I shouldn't be dealing with this because I should be the picture of like health and fitness. And for years, I was not at all. I mean, I was so, you know, just honestly like, you know, sick inside and out. And like that, so I think I just tried to, for now, you know, it's important for me to say that because I think it's relatable to people, you know, where they're like, you know, okay, well, she's in fitness and she struggles too, you know? And so, Susanna, people know that you're in fitness. They know that you're, you know, you've taught classes for years. And so like putting that part of you out there that, look, I struggle with this. This is what I do about it. This may not be right for you, but this is what I do to like, so I can live in peace, you know? So I know it's like, but I know what you mean. It's like you feel like you're standing there, like I can't tell you. Oh my gosh, I felt like I was gonna throw up when I hit post.
You did? Oh. Well, and I feel like, you know, people obviously they see me. People who see me know that I like to eat because I'm not super lean. So it's not on that particular one I felt almost like I was explaining myself. I was like, this is why. It was like an explanation to my the way I look, which is probably not exactly healthy or sound, but whatever. You know.
Well, you know, it's funny because I have learned just over the years that because I used to really think, hey, nutrition is like a one size fits all thing, you know? But it's not. It is so not. I mean, from the way our bodies handle different kinds of foods, you know, people that can't eat wheat, can't eat dairy, can't eat this or that, you know, and just the way that our bodies respond, like everybody's different, and it's just not a one size fits all kind of thing. And like, you know, for me, like I love the 21 Day Fix, and I do use the containers, but I don't use that treat container because I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm like, I mean, I'd be like, fill up that treat with, you know, whatever, and go fill it back up until whatever was in there was gone, you know?
Mhm.
in that item, you know? So it's like, but I think for people that can do that, you know, that are, and I'll tell you what I really started thinking about when I really started thinking about sharing like more of my story was listening to that series that Chalene Johnson did, those podcasts. Did y'all listen to those? They were
Yeah.
all about eating. They were all about, she had 3 of them. There was, I can't stop overeating, or I can't stop eating, or something like that. And she had a psychologist on there that explained the science behind people having certain, you know, trigger foods that, anyway. And then there was one about,
I listened to part of one of those, I think.
there's a series of 3 of them. If you go back in the
I don't
feed
think I
and look
listened
at
to
it,
those.
it's really, listen to the one, Stop Overeating, I think is what
Okay.
but it's really interesting because there's the psychologist that's on there. She goes into the mental part of it, you know, where honestly, when I listened to it, I was like, okay, thank you. I'm not crazy. Like, this is I mean, it's a real thing, you know? So, anyway, it was interesting. And when I listened, I was like, okay, I need to share this because I guess my thing is I know so many women that really struggle with, especially sugar, you know, eating a lot of sugar and just having that sugar addiction. And I do, I mean, and so that's why I just can't touch it. But there's so many women that probably think they're crazy. Like, why can't I stop? So that when I listen to that podcast, man, this makes so much sense, you know? And I listened to it like twice. It was really eye-opening, you know,
Yeah.
for people to just not think like, you know, and whether they do anything about it is not the point. It's just to put it out there that, hey, this is a real thing. You're not crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Listen to
there's
that.
nothing wrong with you. You're not crazy. So anyway, yeah. But I think it's great for us to just put our stuff out there, you know,
Yeah.
in a light of, hey, I know I'm like this and this is what I'm doing about it. And this may not be right for you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
I'm so glad Kate got on.
I am too. I don't know where she went. She told me she could get on for a little while. I felt bad.
A little message came in. She had to make lunch for her guests. I think Yoshia's family
Okay.
over. So
I saw something pop up on the screen. I didn't know what it was.
Is she here locally, Susanna?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
She is. She actually, her daughter is in Keller's class.
Okay.
So that's how we met.
Well, very good.
Yeah. And she's drinks